Okay, part two. It's like, how do you take a crap load of information that I have on data protection methodology and hard drives and cram it into a couple of videos? It's like, well, it's not even possible. Okay? Point number one. Your data is never safe on any hard drive, no matter how expensive it is. Number two, when it comes to protecting your data, only one thing is God, and that is redundancy. Okay? There are a lot of different criteria that you need to understand. Your computer is not a data storage device. It is a working platform. This working desktop of mine where I have my hands, this is a desktop. It's not a filing cabinet. Your computer and the data on it never, ever, ever, ever counts. Well, sure it is. No, it doesn't. Nor should you ever turn your computer into a data storage device. If you think you have a backup of your data, it's like, well, I got all the important stuff backed up onto another hard drive. They count the crap on their computer as like one copy of the data and then the other copy on the hard drive. No, 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 no. It don't work that way. Nothing on the computer ever, ever counts. People need to understand the difference between backups, archives, and redundancy. They also need to understand the various types. So please check out the link below for my article that I wrote for Apple. If you read this article, you will become a god among men. Yes, I said that. I know. Very arrogant, right? Oh, you're so arrogant. But you will. It's about basically 10 pages long. It's like about backup archive. Talk about the system hub versus data hub. Very, very simple. I rewrote this article over 80 times. That's not an exaggeration. Over 80 times I rewrote this article. Over and over and over. It's still on Apple's website for a reason. Hard drives. I made recommendations on hard drives below, like Western Digital Black. Stay away from Seagate. There's no such thing as a lacy drive. There's no such thing as a rugged hard drive. Rugged hard drives are bullshit. It's just a rubber bumper, and inside that's a metal box, and inside that there are 4 more rubber bumpers than a conventional hard drive. Head crash and failure of those hard drives is actually even more commonplace than a naked hard drive. So those rugged hard drives you think are really rugged, they're actually not. I mean, if you wanted to glue some rubber bumpers on a conventional hard drive, are you really bumping it while it's actually hooked to the computer? That's where you have an issue. Now, conventional hard drives have basically been taken out of computers. Obviously that's the case. Everything now, not everything, but most everything, especially on laptops, notebooks, everything now is a solid-state drive. So there's nothing to bump, nothing to worry about there. I still see a lot of people, bumping and kicking around their hard drives, or smacking around, or like hitting it with their food plate or whatever. Serious issue. That's where armature failure happens, a head crash. These are actually heads. This is actual voice coil, and these are five heads. This end of that's bent. 5 heads that used to rest on 5 platters. Regular conventional hard drive controller failure, external hard drive, the SATA bridge failure. These are basically the wheels on the car that are constantly failing. My most popular video out of over 3,000 videos is basically a video about this little piece of shit part. It's called a SATA bridge. Now this is an external SATA bridge for recovery of data or use with naked hard drives. However, you would never want to take a hard drive with a controller board and lay it down like that. You can actually get electrostatic discharge to it while it's hooked up with power and cause an issue. That's just very, very common sense stuff, because a lot of people are afraid of naked hard drives. Like, oh my god, it's naked, I can see the exposed electric. Well, if you know only to touch it on the sides, like this is a hard drive controller board for 3.5-inch hard drive. Recovery of data, too. When you pay a fortune to actually send off, if you ever have to send off a hard drive, you have totally effed up. A hardcore professional, when they have had a hard drive crash, and it is inevitable, what a true professional, an expert on data recovery says, who gives a shit, throw it in the trash. I got 10 more copies over there. If you ever have to pay someone or send your hard drive, you have fundamentally failed and screwed the pooch. You have failed. And that's alright, but don't get burnt more than once. If you could avoid it, don't even get burnt once at all. If you think, only having 1 extra copy of your data off your computer, as a backup, no, it's not. That's the first copy. Anything on the computer absolutely does not count. I could take me hours into explaining why the stuff on the computer doesn't count, but I don't want to get into that here. I got the link below for this as well. This is an Anchor hard drive dock. It's a USB connector, hooks to your computer, and a little power cable that hooks to a wall plug, just like this. Or you can get one of these. I actually use these portably. However, I don't actually take around naked hard drives. I have naked hard drives like at my other house, and these little cases, these are little 2.5-inch Toshiba and Hitachi hard drives. Also, the very best hard drives you're going to pay basically between $55 and $65 per terabyte. The links below are for everything. These are little 3.5-inch hard drives. As long as you know not to ever squeeze them or touch them like this, you grab them by the side. Obviously, you have danger of electrostatic shock here. It's nowhere near as bad as you think. I could actually touch this if I wanted to. It doesn't mean I'm going to damage it. However, the oils in my hand could actually conduct charge between two contacts, and that could cause an issue. You just know that this is how you handle naked hard drives. I mean, how difficult is this? I mean, I could teach a blind person, like, only grab it on the thin sides. Anyway, you take the naked hard drives, you just drop them in a dock like this. You hook it up via the USB cable, turn the power switch on. These are what I use. This eliminates out this horrible little awful part which is found in external hard drives. Obviously, I have quite a few external hard drives like this which are in cases. I use that for portability. No big deal, right? Duh, not a problem. Always remember, redundancy is God. I mean, I can't stand hearing these people that used to call me for tech support, and I'm like, you know, I got like 10 years of my life on this hard drive, and it's crashed, and I'm up the creek, and I've got 3 kids, and the boss is talking about firing me. I've heard that before, and more than a dozen times. And man, and it's like, well, it's like seeing somebody murdered hearing stories like that. These people aren't lying. It's like, I'm about to get fired, I got kids to support, all the company's important data, like, we got a decade's worth of data sitting on all these stupid people, and it is just stupid, and a lot of people make this mistake. They think, well, my hard drive's working, or they think also, too, another huge mistake, well, the hard drive, I just bought a new hard drive. That doesn't mean anything. It means it could undergo infant mortality. There is nothing. If you knew how a hard drive worked, you would trust it as much as you would trust, like, a cross between Jeffrey Dahmer and, who's that other evil bastard, Helter Skelter, whatever the hell his name is, Charles Manson. Anybody that really knows hard drives, and this is the God's honest truth, anybody that knows anything about hard drives, they treat a hard drive like Jeffrey Dahmer and Charles Manson combined. And if you don't treat them that way, they will bite you in the ass, they will burn you. They will burn you, and they'll burn down your data. They will burn it to the ground. You think that is like paranoia? Oh, baby, it's not. Like one of these little jobbies here, it actually has a USB connector. You can actually get this. These are Anchor Direct. They also make this little... Now, the 3.5-inch naked hard drives only need this, which is a SATA bridge inside this little case. You hook this into your computer. The 3.5-inch hard drives, however, also require external power, so I'd actually hook this in here and plug it into the wall. You would never want to actually take the naked hard drive and lay it face down where the hard drive controller is on the table. The links below, I've also got the best, which is a Hitachi Turo, which is an encased hard drive bigger than this. This is a slim 500 gigabyte hard drive Toshiba. I got a bunch of these as well. I'm not worried if this crashes. You know why I'm not? Because I've got copies and copies and copies of whatever's on here. You know, I'm not worried about a hard drive crash. If you are worried, then you're screwing up. I mean, people spend countless thousands of dollars to take pictures and travel around the world, and then they stick it on like 1 or 2 copies of a hard drive, and they stick it in their safe. It's like, wow, you're making a stupid mistake. And people do that left and right. Oh my God, it is so stupid. Hard drive platters used to be made out of tempered glass. You can actually see through these. The inside of this was so dusty because the actual data was on metal, which was adhered. This is glass. This is glass, tempered glass. You can actually see all the way through this. Literally, the coating that held the data, because this was a server-grade hard drive. You know why I know this is a server-grade hard drive? I'll show you something you don't know about. Obviously, copper, this is the voice coil down here. You see the copper voice coil right there? Obviously, copper weighs more than aluminum. And that means it's harder to move copper back and forth really, really fast than it is aluminum, right? Aluminum's lightweight. You can move aluminum back really, really fast, much more so than you can copper. You notice that the voice coil on the server-grade hard drive is aluminum, and over here it's copper. What happens is that the server-grade hard drive spun and spun and spun and spun and spun so long, and someone just kept letting it spin, that it actually spun the coating off that actually held the data. And it was as dust all throughout the inside. It was just coated with dust. I removed it. Don't you think that's pretty neat? I accidentally shattered one of these once since I've taken apart hundreds of hard drives. And these tempered glass like this is the toughest sort of tempered glass. Yeah, actual glass platter hard drive. This is glass, okay? It doesn't break, it explodes. And this specific type of tempered glass not only explodes, it explodes into tiny razor-like daggers that penetrated my feet for like weeks. It's like I kept vacuuming and vacuuming. I still couldn't get it out. I know that's an anecdote, but I thought you would think that was really, really funny. But I have the links below for all of this stuff. Please don't inundate me with too many questions. Like I said, if you read my article here, it explains everything from, I mean, it's only 10 pages long. You know, what about protecting your data? Just read this article. I rewrote it over 80 times. If you can't, 10 pages, I rewrote it 80 times. This will tell you everything. This article is the shiznits. I wrote it. I'm very proud of it. I could have made it a lot larger, but actually there was limitations on how large I could make it when I was doing that for Apple. But let me know if you got any questions. Just don't trust any hard drive because they will screw you over. Your most valuable, important data needs to go onto archival optical. I don't care. Nobody likes burning DVDs. Nobody. But the only place data is truly safe, I don't mean like all your data, I mean the really, 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 really important crap has to go into archival optical. Nobody likes burning that shit, but if you want it to be safe, it's got to go there. And stop thinking of your computer as a data storage device. It's not. It's a working platform, okay? Filing cabinets over there. That's what a hard drive's. You need to have multiple copies of it too, okay? Not just one. That's where your data is stored. Your computer is not a data storage device. Everybody has that sick delusion in their brain, and you need to flush it like a stinky turd in the toilet, because that is wrong. Anyway, the God of hard drives has spoken. If you like this video and drop a buck or two, I have the links for all of the stuff below. It's the best of the best of the best, including this little hard drive dock, which is 40 bucks basically. I got like several of these things. It's the most reliable. You drop a buck or two, tell me jump off a cliff, or buy me a pizza. Pizza. Just kidding. Not really. Thanks. Bye. Do 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 do.